On today's show, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and has crypto and Bitcoin bit the dust, right? So a lot of different opinions and viewpoints on crypto. Is it good? Is it bad? What is it? And it can be fairly complicated for a lot of people. I talk to a lot of smart people that know this stuff, and even they, to some degree, have some level of confusion around pieces of it, right? It's very complicated. So we'll try and make this a little more simple to understand as to what is crypto, why is it so volatile, is it a legitimate investment to even consider, and what about for retirement? So we'll just kind of go through these, John, look at them and talk a little bit about each piece. So what is crypto? What is Bitcoin? Let's talk through that a little bit.
Yeah, so its simplest form is a digital asset used for investing or for online payment. It's really fairly new. It's been around since about 2008, which is one of the reasons that, it's so volatile. We get asked about this quite a bit. Currently, we're not investing in Bitcoin, and one of the reasons for that is it's not regulated. And we don't really want our clients getting into something that's not regulated. Now, that doesn't mean if some people have been really successful. In fact, Bitcoin has produced a lot of millionaires over the last 5 years, and then it's taken a lot of that away, of course, this year in terms of how it's crashed and everything else. But in its simplest form, that's what it is. The unregulated part of it is something that really bugs me, though. I don't really want to be associated with anything personally when it relates to my investments that's unregulated, although I think that's going to change with this digital currency.
Well, yeah, the digital asset, right, is basically what it is. Crypto means code, and so essentially this digital asset or digital currency, even if you want to call it that, is written by code. No unique line is the same, right? They're all different. I get people asking me all the time about crypto and is it good or is it bad? And what about the digital form of it? And think about this, John. Our bank accounts, we go deposit money in the bank. What happens to that money? It gets turned into a digital asset, right? Basically, it's a number on the computer screen. And whatever that number is when we log in or go into the bank, that's how much money we have. And the value of that actually is still held digitally. So I have a lot of people concerned about that. But we actually run our current currency today in the form of digital money. The difference is the value of a dollar bill doesn't trade quite as volatile as a cryptocurrency, right? If I have a dollar in the bank today, outside of inflation, I still have a dollar in the bank tomorrow, where here you may have $1 million of crypto today, and then you wake up the next day and you've got $200,000 of crypto, right? Just because the value, and maybe not that extreme, but the value can fluctuate that wildly. We've seen that recently in the 2020 to 2022 crash. We've seen crypto absolutely just hit the floor in terms of valuation. And so it is really volatile, right? I would say anybody investing in this investment needs to have a thick layer of skin and really be willing to lose every single penny, right? It's a risky investment. There's no guarantee here. But you have to be willing to accept the ride. This is going to be a wild ride, not just in the past, but for years to come.
Yeah. And I think, back to one of the things I said about regulation, I think that crypto has actually got staying power. I don't know that I felt like that 2 or 3 years ago, but I do think it has staying power. But I do think you're going to see increased regulation. In the past, anything that's been unregulated, and I'm not for over-regulating, I'm not for under-regulating. There's smart regulation, especially when you're dealing with investors' money. You want there to be some guidelines along the way, because crypto's really whatever the value someone wants to pay for it at this point. And so one of the interesting articles that I read recently, and I haven't confirmed all the numbers in this, was that just this past year there was something like 23,000 ATM machines that were put in place or installed that are capable of dealing in cryptocurrency, and that number is going to continue to grow. So that tells me that movement probably has some staying power. But again, especially when you're talking about a retirement strategy, to invest a large sum of money or your retirement in something that's unregulated and is fairly new and is as volatile as this is a real risk you probably don't want to take.
Well, staying power, there's a couple countries out there looking to implement crypto as their form of currency. And so, yes, I do believe as well this is here to stay. Is it going to continue to be volatile? Absolutely. I think we're going to continue to see massive volatility, which, as we talk about in our shows all the time, can really create a buying opportunity.
Absolutely.
Right? Volatility isn't bad. It doesn't mean that the investment isn't a good investment. In fact, volatility creates opportunities that you don't always see to buy Bitcoin or Ether, some of these other more popular cryptocurrencies at very low prices. And today, compared to the highs, they are considered very low. As it relates to a retirement asset, you mentioned it a little bit. When it comes to retirement and your investments, you need a diversified portfolio, right? Everybody agrees with that. That's not new news. That's out there. A diversified portfolio should be comprised of some very conservative assets, right? Some liquid assets, some cash to cover emergencies. You want that. Some conservative money and some growth type money. And then for some, this would be considered a speculative investment in which we wouldn't really recommend more than maybe 5% going into an allocation like this, maybe 10%, unless you're ultra wealthy, right? And you just have lots of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars to lose. For the average investor out there, you really don't want to over allocate into an asset like this because the risk is really high. And so you want to make sure that you're aware of those risks as it relates to specifically retirement money.
I mean, I'd definitely say this fits in the silo of speculation. You are starting to see like Elon Musk. He's a little out there in terms of the CEO of Tesla. He's invested billions of dollars into this. But again, high speculation, low percentage of your portfolio if you get into this. But something that we think is going to be more and more information is going to come out. So, hey, folks, thanks for watching our show today as we talked about cryptocurrency. Please make sure that you subscribe to our channel, or you can go to retirementtalk.com for more information.